Hello.
Hi! Welcome to the next episode, I don't know what number, of the Pretty and Witty Book Club. Did you guys do your reading this week? Cool. Did you do your reading this week?
I did. I finished yesterday.
I don't remember what day I finished. Early.
I feel like it was maybe Sunday.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
If you're looking at me and wondering what's wrong with me, here's what happened. Kayla and I went to a baseball game. Kayla, set your stuff right there so you could take it to the living room. Take it and go, please.
Take the whole box.
Just take the whole box with you.
Why?
So that we can do book club.
Why do we?
Only color on that page, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yes, we went to a baseball game.
An outside game. And normally, here's two things.
I may have messed up. I don't know what happened.
Yep.
I know where the seats are in the shade.
Normally,
and I could have swore I got those. I didn't.
Normally, we sit farther back because it is a very small stadium, so there are no bad seats there.
It's a minor league stadium.
So we sit farther back so that we are under the overhang. And I feel like normally it is a later in the day game.
Yeah, because usually there we go for 4th of July, and they have later games because then they do fireworks after. This was a 1 o'clock game, so it was like
1
sun
o'clock
was right
after
there.
the time change, so I feel like it was a really noon o'clock game. That sun was beaming.
It was.
And we were in row D, which is very close to the sidewalk that was in front of us, not close to the back where the shade is. We didn't get shade until between like the 7th and 8th inning.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
I think maybe the 8th inning.
So
I did put on a tiny bit of sunscreen before we left, mainly on my face, because I'm thinking we're going to be in the shade. And I didn't wear a hat because we're going to be in the shade. I have pasty white skin.
Not anymore.
We sweated that sunscreen off probably walking in from the parking lot.
Yeah.
It was like 89 degrees. Yeah. I thought a bug was on me, but it was just the sweat running down from the back of my knee to my sock. So now I'm a tomato. Fortunately, the only part that's uncomfortable is the top of my chest where like
Oh, really?
the you know this inside piece on the collar of your shirt will like rub your chest. I don't like that. That's a bit uncomfortable. And then my forehead, right up here at my hairline. So that's going to peel and that'll be fun because then it'll look like I have dandruff or some kind of skin disease. So that'll be good. So if you're looking at me wondering what's going on there, it's a sunburn.
I'm already brown, so I didn't really burn. I burned a little on my chest, but it's almost gone now. So
Congratulations to her.
So, we read chapters 1 through 40
We did.
of Pucking Strong.
I'm really liking this book.
I read somewhere, I think it was at the beginning of the book where it says it's a slow burn, and I was like, oh, I don't want to know anymore. So, I stopped reading, and it truly is a slow burn.
It is a slow burn, but a lot of times I hate slow burns because I'm like, just do it already. And I don't feel that way about this.
There's enough storyline that the slow burn's not like killing you.
Yeah.
So it's good. I want to look up another thing to see if it's that too, but I don't want to spoil it for me, so I'm not going to.
I love all of the characters that are in it from the team because the majority of them, we've met them already in the previous books. So if you've read the other books, Pucking Around, Pucking Wild, and Pucking Sweet, this one is Poppy's story, Poppy St. James. This one is Tessa's story. And I'm just saying the women because there's fewer of them than there are of men. And this one is Rachel Price's story.
Yeah.
There's little novellas in between each of them, and I do recommend reading even if you don't like any of the others, read the very first one before you start pucking around. That novella.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Um,
I read that afterwards, and I was like, oh, this makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. Because it'll give you a little backstory before you start pucking around. But you don't have to read those to read this one. This one could be considered a standalone. They say that for all of them.
They are.
But it's just...
You're not lost if you haven't read any of the
not
others.
At all.
It's just a bunch of character names, but...
I like a good crossover. I like to see those characters in other books. So I did like that. That was fun for me to see. Specifically at the airport when they're coming back.
I cried. I think I texted you and I was like, why am I crying at this scene?
It was so sweet.
It's because it's everyone, and this hockey team, they're truly like a family, and I feel like most sports teams, they like to say that, like, we're like a family, but in these books, they're like that because of the things they've had to go through in these books.
Yeah.
So it's even more so they're a family.
They really show up for each other.
Yeah. So we have Henrik Carlson. He is a forward on the Jacksonville Rays team, hockey team. And
did you just get that from the list of players?
No, I remember because they were talking about forwards and with the scoring situation, and they're like, oh, but if you have a forward, you're more likely. Yeah. Okay. So I just happen to remember that. And then we have Teddy, who is
Theodore.
Theodore.
Once they said his name, and then I was like, oh, Teddy is short for Theodore, but it didn't occur to me at first.
He is the new doctor, physical therapist doctor for the hockey team.
Yes.
And 6 years ago, he was the physical therapist intern.
You do meet Teddy in these books. Yeah. Like, I know for sure he's in book 1. Pucking around. I think he's in book 2, but I can't quite remember. Yes, he is in book 2, I think. I can't remember for sure, but I think he's in book 2.
I'm pretty sure he is. That's Caleb or is that book 1? Caleb and Jake?
Book 1.
Okay, never mind.
But book 2, he talks about in here being on the beach when Tess meets Langers.
Langers, yeah.
So, and that's book 2,
okay,
so.
Yeah. And then he's not around for Poppy's book.
Just in the epilogue.
He pops in the epilogue, and that's how we know what the next book's going to be about. But I don't even think it was him. I think it was Henriksen, which, that happened here. So.
Yeah.
So he's back, and he's the doctor, and, all's fine and dandy.
They brought him into the team. He did a year as an intern and then left.
Yeah.
And they brought him back because Rachel Price is their physical therapy doctor. Mm-hmm. And she is pregnant with twins.
Yes.
Didn't see that coming.
I think it's her third pregnancy. Or is it only the second?
No, that sounds right.
It was their third pregnancy. It's their third pregnancy. And it's twins.
It's got to be on Mari's. So she's obviously going to go out on maternity leave. And so they brought him in temporarily to fill her spot.
Yeah.
But within 24 hours of being there, suddenly he's being shipped off to Sweden to help Henrik.
So we come into the story, he's at practice, whatever, and then they're in the training room afterwards, and Henrik, all of a sudden you just hear him screaming, and he's dropped to the floor, and he's listening to a voicemail.
In Swedish.
In Swedish. Some of his teammates pick it up, and they're like, it's Swedish, we don't know what's going on. So one of his teammates who understands Swedish picks it up, and he just tells everyone what happens, and it's that his niece is in the hospital badly injured from a car accident, and that his sister died from the same car accident.
His niece is like 5.
Yeah. So at that point, they're trying to figure out, what do we need to do for you? And he's like, I clearly need to go to Sweden. They're like a couple weeks out from season opener. I need to go take care of my niece, whatever. And then they're like, well, you have to bring her back here if you're going to play, and all of the things. And somewhere in there, they're like, well, how are we going to get her back here? And Teddy's like, I'll go, because he's a physical therapist. And he's like, I know all, I can help with the medical stuff. I can help make sure she's getting transported correctly, all this stuff. Meanwhile, during all of this, he knows damn well he has a crush on this dude.
Has
Since
for 6 years from
yep,
the first time they met.
Yep. And so he's just effing himself, really.
Yeah.
And not in a good way. So, not emotionally like this, no.
So, they get over there. She is in bad shape. She's got a broken arm, broken leg. She's beat to hell and back.
Yep.
Teddy stays with him at the hospital. They go back home. They deal with what they're going to deal with there as far as, like, sleep, eating minimally, and then they go back to the hospital every day. They're staying at his apartment. Henrik has an apartment there in Sweden because he spends the off season there. He's on the phone with his lawyer there because he not only needs to get things situated for his sister, he has to clean out her apartment and put her things in storage. He needs to have her cremated. They need to arrange all of those things. He's also working on trying to become the guardian of his niece because his parents are in their 70s. They had children late in life. They can't take care of her. His mother is demented, and based on what we've read through conversations with her, she has sundowners, and so she's worse in the evenings. Her dementia is. And then his dad is just old, doesn't get around as well, has a fall during the book, actually. So his parents can't take on a 5-year-old. Yeah. So with his sister gone, he's all that she has. So he wants her to come with him to America. And the Swedish government is like, nah.
His lawyer's already telling him, like, the Swedish government isn't going to like this. And then
you're taking her out of her home country.
Her culture.
Where she has her culture and the language that she speaks. You're taking it out of the place where she's getting her medical care and her education to a place where they have mediocre medical care, terrible education. I can't disagree.
No, I agree.
She doesn't speak the language. She doesn't know anybody there. And it's just you. Yeah. Whereas here, yes, she would go into the foster system, but it would be with a 2-person parental family. And
while keeping her within her culture.
She would stay here, get the education, get the medical care. They would speak her language. And you are a professional athlete. So when you're traveling for the majority of the year for the season, who are you going to leave her with? Like, they're going through all of these things with him. The lawyer is. And Teddy, being the smarty pants that he is, pipes up and says, well, would it help him if he were married to, say, a doctorate of physical therapy? And so that's what they do, is they get married and apply for her guardianship together. Yep. And get approved for temporary guardianship.
They do. During one of these arguments, so Teddy doesn't like the lawyer.
I don't really either.
I don't either.
However,
she knows what she's talking about. She does, but
she doesn't have good bedside manner.
Yeah. She's being truthful, but she could deliver it a little bit nicer. Yeah. As Teddy says, she's the opposite of Poppy St. James. Poppy St. James is Barbie, and she's bubbly, and she, gets things done, but whatever. And this lady is the opposite. At one point, he calls her, Ice Glacier Barbie. I think he says, fuck you, Ice Glacier Barbie. Which is great. It made me laugh. There's another thing about these books. They are rom-coms.
They are funny.
Wholeheartedly rom-coms. You get text conversation. See, he calls her C3PO.
I think that was the person who was supposed to marry them.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, that was. They're rom-coms. You get funny text messages, you get funny interactions, they're funny books. I think 2 pages in, I was like, I forgot how much of these books are just hilarious to read. So, keep that in mind.
Please excuse the background noise. Haley's done coloring.
So at one point they're setting rules for each other.
Before we do that,
Yep.
when they get married, Teddy's having a moment because they're just at an administrative building.
Mm-hmm.
So he's having a moment and he's like, I can't marry you without telling you some things. So instead of telling him,
I have a crush on you.
I have a crush on you, I'm in love with you, whatever the case may be, he tells him that he used to have first he tells him that he's gay. And Henrik's like,
We know.
duh. And then he's like, okay, if you're good with that, then okay. And so they go back over to where he's not a minister, the administrator, whatever that's marrying them is. And then he's like, wait. And Henrik's like, there's more? And he's like, I can't marry you without telling you that I had a really big crush on you 6 years ago because you saved my life. So he doesn't tell him that he likes him right now. He's acting like that's old news and he's no longer interested, when in fact he is very, very interested. So this marriage is going to be difficult for him.
Yeah.
And they didn't kiss at their wedding.
They did not.
And he was a little bummed about that because he is very much.
Yep. It's just... Yeah.
I can hear the water running.
Yep.
It's fine.
Okay. So yeah. So they get married. And...
I feel like every other chapter, Teddy is having a meltdown.
Yeah. Henrik has a couple, but they're not as calm as Teddy's, and Teddy does calm down Henrik whenever he's having a meltdown.
Henrik's meltdowns are more like a silent...
He cries once.
Yes.
Yeah.
Over his sister.
Yes, yeah.
Other than that, he has like night terrors.
Yeah. He likes control too.
He's a very logical, calm, quiet, keep to my personal space person.
Yep.
And Teddy is a very loud, flashy, flamboyant, life of the party, super fun.
He was raised by his mom and three.
I feel like it was 4.
4 sisters. So he's the youngest. He's the baby. So he just learned from them. And yeah.
He is proud of who he is, happy to show it off, just get out there, wants to be surrounded by the people he loves and have a great time. And Henrik is the exact opposite. Like, when they got back to the airport, because they did get approved, and so they bring homegirl back, and when they get back to the airport where everybody's waiting for them, Tessa's like, okay, we'll see you at your house. And he's like, what?
I'm sorry,
and she's
what?
like, oh, Teddy, you didn't tell him? And Teddy's like, you said you were going to tell him. And Mars is there. You learn about him in the first book. No, his name is not Mars. It's like Imari or something like that, but they call him Mars. He speaks Swedish. He's on the team. And so Henrik says to him, who else coming? And he says, everyone. And that was the first time any of his teammates had been to his apartment.
Yeah.
And he's been playing with them for at least 6 years because...
Yeah. And he said somewhere in there, he goes, I go to their baby showers, I go to their weddings. He goes, I go to all these things, I'm very supportive, but I don't know them. I don't know their kids' names. If their partner's hasn't been a part of the team, then I don't know their partner's names.
And Teddy knows
and
all
Teddy
of that.
knows everyone. And he
knows their names, he knows their spouse's names, he knows their kids' names, he knows how
what they
old they
like,
are. He knows all the things.
And he tells them that. He's like, you know everyone. And Teddy's like, what do you mean? So do you. And he goes, no, you know them. You know their names. He goes, teach me. So he realizes that this team is there for him because they show up at the airport to welcome them home along with his niece. And I think it's at that moment where he's like, okay, I need to try and know them.
I think Teddy called him out on it too. Like, you're on the team, but you're not a part of the team. Yeah. And that was really evident in that moment because when they got off the plane, Teddy walked around and talked to everybody and hugged everybody and was like talking to the kids like, oh my gosh, you've grown since the last time I've seen you. And like was really able to have a one-on-one conversation with every person there about one thing or another. And Henrik can't do that.
Yeah. So, he's getting there. He's trying.
He is trying.
His niece's name is Carolina, by the way.
They call her Caro.
Yeah, Cara.
So cute.
But yeah, so those are some of the main things that's going on. At some point in this, they set rules. Teddy's like, no kissing, because obviously they're going to have to be very public about this in some ways because he's a NHL hockey star. So one of his rules is no kissing.
They also have to be very careful because while this is a fake marriage, they have to pass the adoption process for Caro.
Yeah.
So they have to make it believable.
Yeah.
So no kissing, no sleeping in the same bed.
Yeah. I feel like Teddy had 3 and Henrik had a couple.
Henrik's were more like, let me take care of you. I'll pay for everything while you live with me.
Yeah.
And
Oh, Teddy did sneak in rent.
Oh, yeah,
There's a point where he's like, I snuck in rent. We haven't figured it out yet, but I'm paying him rent. Because Henrik's very much like, you did this for me and my niece. Like, you're not gonna pay for anything. Teddy's like, I'm gonna pay my way a little at least.
Yeah. Like
I do get paid. So yeah. During some of these roles, Teddy. So they're in the car. They pull off the side of the road because whatever. So they get back in the car and Teddy's like, I have one more rule. He goes, what? He goes, you have to call Poppy St. James and let her know. She is their PR manager. And she's already had to deal with a couple other PR storms. So at that point, Henrik's like, fuck. He goes, yeah, have fun with that.
that call happens in the epilogue.
It's right here.
for that one.
So I pulled it up because I didn't go back and read it before because the conversation doesn't happen in the book because it happened here. So it says, someone hands the phone to Poppy and he's like, I think it's serious. It's Henrik. And Poppy says like, Carlson, like, and she acknowledges that I've never had to talk to him.
He never calls.
He's quiet. Like, this has to be important. She goes, 6 years with the team. I've never had an occasion to communicate with him directly. He's certainly never gone out of his way to call me 3 times in a row. So he kept calling.
Psycho dial.
So he goes, this is Poppy. She goes, hello, Poppy. He goes, this is Henrik calling from Sweden. Hey, Henrik, this is a surprise. What can I do for you? I need your help. It's rather urgent. Because I placed one hand flat on the counter as my PR brain instantly started spinning out worst case scenarios. I knew he was going to Sweden to deal with a family emergency. I believe it had to do something to do with a sudden death. It all happened right before we left for Aruba, so I'm a little out of the loop. Honey, what happened? He groans into the phone. He goes, I can picture him dragging a hand through his stylish sandy blonde hair. I may have done something rather reckless last night. Colton looks at me wide-eyed, so it must be on speaker. And I just shake my head, my anxiety blooming. How reckless are we talking? He got in a bar fight, he murdered someone, he stole a kidney. My brain goes out of control. I got married. Okay, it's fine. So in the 6 years I've known Henrik, I don't think he's ever been in a relationship. He lives and breathes hockey. No scandals, no drama, no clingy bunnies. Did I know you were even seeing anyone? He goes, oh God, don't tell me you married like Swedish royalty or something. Did you, she goes, Henrik Carlson, did you marry a freaking princess? She goes, no, I married Teddy. So then she's like, I'm pretty sure I only know one Teddy. He was a physical therapist intern for us several years ago. Lucas raved about his massages so much that Colton got a teensy bit jealous. Of course, once Lucas knew Teddy was the trigger, he couldn't help but taunt him. Last I heard, Teddy's now a full doctor of physical therapy. I think he's coming back to the team to fill in for Rachel Price. But Henrik can't mean that Teddy, right? She shuffles the phone to her ear and walks around to the other side of the kitchen. You want to say that name again? I'm not sure I heard you right. He sighs. Poppy, last night I married Teddy O'Connor. Yep, it's that Teddy. But this doesn't make any sense. Aren't you in Sweden for a family emergency? Yes, he came with me. I'm so confused right now. She goes, and we'll fill you in, I promise. For now, we need your help. Sure, honey. What help do you need? Want me to write up a formal press announcement? He's quiet for a moment. No, I want you to help me defraud the Swedish and American governments. I nearly dropped the bowl of fruit. Defraud I don't get paid enough for this. Setting the fruit aside, I slide my laptop over, flip it open. Okay, Henrik. why don't you just start at the beginning, and then we go into the story. So I wanted to go back and read that because I was like, how much did we learn in that book? I can't remember.
It wasn't enough.
So it wasn't. No, clearly not. Because I think even when we read that epilogue, we're like, Teddy, he's not even on the team anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, they're back in the States now.
They have a conversation because, of course, they're going about their life here and there and, whatever. So they do an interview. They do the press release. It's coming out that Henrik is married to a man. He used to work for the team as an intern. Now he works for the team as a doctor. No, they did not have any kind of relationship when he was an intern, just friendly, whatever. So they get everything lined up with Caro, so she has in-home care and things like that. And then they have the first home game.
Yes.
And Teddy goes to that. He's wearing his Wags jacket, which is no longer Wives and Girlfriends.
It's wives and guys.
Because
there's several guys part of
a
that.
few of the guys have retired from the team, and they are now part of the Wags group. So they all have their bedazzled jackets on. Don't come in here, hey. Close the gate, please. Thank you. Oh, okay. So Teddy was gifted a Wag jacket because he is now married to a hockey player.
Yep. There's only a select, from what I can tell, there's only a select number of people that actually know that this is like fake.
Yes.
Everyone else is like, oh, you got married, yay!
Yes, because they need to sell it. They need it to be believable. And so they're going to the first game. He's wearing one of Henrik's watches because they actually wear the same size clothes and shoes. And Henrik was like, what's mine is yours. Take what you want out of my closet. Haley, please go to the living room. So, at this game, Poppy, not realizing that Teddy hadn't called his family and notified his family of everything yet.
Teddy's fault.
Truly Teddy's fault because it's been a little bit now. Invited them to the game thinking that they already knew. They did not. And so
Teddy was ignoring their phone.
They finally reached Teddy at the game, and by reaching them, I mean Poppy runs into him and is like, oh, so you are alive. And then she tells him that his family is there and they're waiting to meet up with him. And he's in a state of shock. So he goes and meets up with them, apologizes for ignoring them. He's just been busy, blah, blah, blah. And then they go sit down in their suite. It's his mom, all of his sisters, their husbands and boyfriends, and all of their kids. Yeah.
A lot of people.
And they all are wearing Henrik's jerseys. Someone pulls Henrik out of the locker room before the game starts and tells him that Teddy wants to see him. So Teddy lets him know that his family is here, and after the game, you're going to have to meet them.
Yep.
Maybe not the best thing to do right before the game starts, but it doesn't seem to...
It doesn't faze him.
Yeah,
really.
It doesn't seem to.
Yeah.
He plays a great game. He skates up to where they are and is, putting his hand on the glass and whatever. They're super cute together.
Adorable.
They're flirting and
Henrik
everything.
doesn't know that he's into him. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yep.
But yeah.
Then afterwards, he goes and does a press conference where he addresses the fact that he is married to...
Swoon.
Yes. He's married to Teddy. And I was looking for it in here because I wanted to...
Poppy's let them know, and they know based on past books and past things that have happened on their team and their teammates that this... So they dropped the press release in the first period of the game. So they know that when they go for post-game interviews that there's not going to be a lot about hockey. It's going to be about, hey, this press release was dropped. Tell us more about this. So you're gay too? Type thing. So they're kind of prepared, at least mentally, for that. And of course, someone's like, how do we know? For some reason, he says, he questions how long they've been together.
He insinuates that something was going on.
Something else is going on, and that the marriage is just to cover up that. And Henrik tells him about himself.
Or that something was going on when he was an intern, which would have been an abuse of power.
Yeah.
As a player.
Yeah. So, it was at that moment. Yeah, keep clicking through and see if you can find it. That Henrik basically says, he tells them, like, I've seen what you guys have put my teammates through and their families, and they have beautiful families, and you guys don't seem to care, and you just keep asking these questions, and then you allude to things, which gives the fans, who are still, not all, but, you know, our general fan base is still very much racist and homophobic, and you guys just run with that. So I'm going to keep my marriage private. You guys know about it. We've let you know about it. That's the end of it.
So when he goes into this press conference, it's with him and Jake, who is the captain of the team, but also in a polyamorous relationship. I don't want to give all the details because that's book 1, but he's understanding. And then their coach.
Yeah.
And so it says when they sit down, the media scrambles as cameras flash. They're already shouting for me as we take our seats. Carlson, we hear congratulations are in order. Hey, Carlson, when did you first know you were gay? Hey, coach, what's with these guys all marrying your PTs? Dennison, the coach, leans into his microphone. If anyone has any questions about the game or this franchise, we'd be happy to answer. He looks around, eyes narrowed against the lights, and points. Yeah, Gil? Off to the left, a beefy-looking white guy lowers his hand. Great game there, coach. This question is for Carlson. How did it feel to score your first goal of the season in the first game of the season? It felt good. Just before the puck dropped, Ramsey told me I should consider retiring. That's the young guy from the other team. I'm not sure if he even made it to the neutral zone before I scored with the puck they passed to him. He stole the puck from the guy.
And he was quick.
Yeah. The press laughs. Jake shakes my shoulder. Come on, man. Don't leave me now. We've got a pact. Remember, we're both going to play till we're 90. More laughs from that. Hey, Carlson, big news announced tonight. You got married this summer? The coach leans in and says, let's try to get at least one more hockey question asked and answered before we turn to personal stuff. The reporter says, Nikki, come on. Your own PR team broke the news. You want us to run with this or not? It's fine, Henrik says. Ask your question. The Rays announced during the first period that you got married this summer to your team's new physical therapist. Henrik says, I didn't hear a question. Fair enough. So is it true? Did you marry Teddy O'Connor? Of course it's true. That's why we reported it. Teddy O'Connor started here as an intern 6 years ago, Gil goes on. Is that when you two met and started, Sighing, I crossed my arms and leaned back from the table. If you're asking me whether I first met Teddy when he was an intern, the answer is obviously yes. Of course I met him then. He was as valuable to the team as an intern as he is now. But if you're asking if I somehow used my position as a player to take advantage of him or otherwise act inappropriately, then the answer is no. But that is when you met. That is when we met, yes. And after his intern year, he left the team, the reporter goes on, and you didn't see him again for 5 years? Then exactly 1 week into his new job with the Rays, he flies off to Sweden to marry you? There was no question asked. Everything about the situation is a big question mark. It feels like you're trying to announce that you're gay as some kind of cover, hoping we won't ask any questions about the circumstances of this marriage. The coach leans forward. Okay, look, if we can't focus on hockey, then this press conference is over. No, I say over him. It wasn't a question, but I'll answer. This will be the first and last statement I make regarding my marriage to Dr. Teddy O'Connor. In my 10 years playing in this league, I have never once stolen a headline for any reason other than my exemplary performance on the ice. This has been by design. You see my reluctance to speak on this issue now as me somehow keeping secrets, but you're wrong. I just firmly believe in keeping private lives private. The only reason we chose to make this marriage a headline is because we knew you would do it anyway, and we prayed to have some small ounce of control over the narrative that was spun about us. Because here's the truth. I know you won't accurately report. If Teddy was a pretty young blonde woman who I rushed to the altar this summer, the news of our marriage would have warranted no more than a flurry of well-wishing comments left on an Instagram photo. But Teddy is a man, and Teddy is black. And that makes our marriage worthy of spectacle and intrigue and unfounded conspiracy. Because regardless of whether any of you wish to acknowledge it, racism and homophobia still run rampant in this league. It swirls and festers like a plague. You think I haven't seen it? I've had the privilege of skating alongside Jake Price for 6 years. You think I don't know the heinous things you've said about him and his family? I was there when you all made the jokes about Novikov and Morrow, too. I saw the awful headlines you wrote. I comforted them and stood by them when the toxicity you unleashed emboldened other players to bring their racism and homophobia out onto the ice. I heard the slurs they muttered. I've slammed more than one man into the boards for it, and I've happily taken the penalty. Teddy O'Connor is my partner, and that's all you get to know. That's all any of you deserve. He's mine, and I will fight as fiercely for him as I have for every other man on my team. More so, because at the end of the day, my teammates go home to their partners. I go home to Teddy. The only question you get to ask me about him for the rest of my time in this league is how happy he makes me. And my answer will never change. He makes me very happy. Now someone ask a question that's actually about hockey.
Swoon. You!
You're
And
not
Teddy's
feeling help right
family is watching this news conference.
We are not right now.
And the next chapter is about his family being like, I thought you said this was a fake marriage? Because that man is clearly in love with you.
I don't like anybody in his family.
Yeah, no, I don't fuck them bitches. So they're the whole time they're just like, he's like in love with you. You told us this was fake. And then eventually they're like, you always give too much, you give too much, you give too much, and then you always get.
It was a very
hurt.
confusing conversation.
It like went literally like. So
it started
like,
out from
he loves
you're not
you,
into him, but he's in love with you.
Yes.
To you're
like, oh, you're into him, but he doesn't. He's just using you. To. Oh,
because
you are
Teddy
into him?
said this is fake. What he's doing right now is fake. I've seen it. It's his interview face. It's his acting. He can do this. He can turn it on and turn it back off. I've seen him do it. So once he told them that, then they were like flipped.
Yeah.
He's using you.
Yeah.
You give too much.
Yeah. So yeah, when he told them that like, oh, he has media training, this is him acting, then they're like, so he's using you. And then it eventually gets to where his mom looks at him and is like, how do you feel about him? And Teddy's like, I think I'm in love with him. So then that sets Mama Bear like, this is bullshit. And then Henrik walks in.
She says there's always, because she's like, do you want to be with them, him and that little girl? And he's like, yes. And she's like, then your sisters are right to caution you.
Yeah.
There's always going to be someone who needs what you have to offer, but someday you're going to realize that being needed isn't where true happiness lies. Not for someone like you who loves with his whole heart and soul. True happiness for you is only going to come when you're wanted. So you need to ask yourself, does this family just need you, or do they really want you?
Yeah.
And then Henrik walks in.
And he can instantly tell that everyone's trying to keep him away from Teddy. Because at this point, Teddy's crying, like his back is to the door. So the boyfriends and husbands stand up.
And the mother is still talking to him, but like in a hushed tone.
Yeah, we don't know what they're saying anymore. So the boyfriend and husbands hop up like, hi, nice to meet you officially, whatever. And Henrik notices immediately like, they're distracting me, because he can see that his mom and Teddy are still talking, and Teddy's back is turned, and he's just like, something's wrong. Like, he can feel the vibes are off. And then the sisters are like, hi, this is my niece, all, doing the same thing. And then finally one's like, Mom, why don't you come meet Henrik? And then Mom, walks towards Henrik, and he sees Teddy like wipe his eyes. So he's like, what's going on? He doesn't like it. And then at some point,
she is a snippy bitch.
Yeah, she is. She asked, basically they're asking like, where we were under the impression this was fake, but everything on that TV, whatever. And she just told Teddy, you need to be wanted. And then she asked Henrik, like, who's the most important to you or whatever. And he goes, Carolina's the most important to me. That's all that matters. And she looks at Teddy and it was like, awesome. And then Teddy, like, goes to the bathroom, like, leaves. Because they just solidified what they just told him. And
she starts being snippy from the beginning, though.
Yeah, she does.
When they're like, let's go out and celebrate. We can't believe our little brother's married. And she's like, I can't believe we had to hear it from a stranger before we ever heard it from him. Y'all don't even have a picture. And he's like, I'm so sorry.
He says, we wanted to keep it on the down low so we could get with Poppy first.
If it makes you feel any better, my parents weren't there either. And she's like, it doesn't. Yeah. And so when he says, she's my only consideration, talking about Carolina, the little girl, she's like, hear that, baby? What a loved and truly wanted little girl. We should all be so lucky. Like, just...
That sentence set me on edge. I was like,
same.
I don't think I can do this anymore. Like, I can't read this anymore. I put the book down at that point because I was like, I'm getting icky feelings and I don't like it. So, yeah. They go to dinner. Henrik says, no, I have to go home to Carolina. He's like, Teddy, just go with your family. And initially Teddy does. And then Mom, like, basically cusses out Henrik.
Yeah, I want to find where it is.
Yeah, she gives him the what for what. She's going to look.
When Teddy comes out of the bathroom, he's no longer wearing his Wags jacket. Ugh, he's taken it off.
Henrik likes that jacket on him, by the way.
He does. It's a little bit of possessiveness.
Yes.
So he's asking Teddy what happened, and he says nothing, and he tells Teddy, come home with me. And he says, I can't. My family's here to see me, to see us. They came all this way, and I have to go with them. And Teddy's like, no, you don't. You can come home with me now, and we can talk. We should talk, yes? And the family is still like, hey, are you coming? And, whatever. Teddy's like, we'll do this later. Henrik almost feels a little bit... I have a son who is autistic, and Henrik, in certain ways, almost feels a little bit on the spectrum, and I don't mean to offend anybody if you have a child that is on the spectrum. Yeah. I mean it in the way of he does not pick up on the social cues.
Yeah, and some of that's language barrier, but a lot of it is, like,
because
the lack
he's such
of
a
social
loner.
cues. Yeah.
Yes.
And he's always chose that for himself. He's always been the one who takes care of everyone. So he's like, I'm good. Like, I take care of my family in Sweden. I take care of hockey here. I'm good. That's all I need. Yeah. So,
like, my son, there is no social cues. He does not. If he thinks it, he says it. There is no reading the room. And sometimes I feel like Teddy isn't able to, or Henrik isn't able to read the room.
He did read it a little because his inner monologue. He goes, "They poisoned him against me," but he doesn't really know what that means.
He doesn't know how to address it.
Yeah. He's just like, we need to talk. Like, there's clearly something wrong. We need to talk.
Right. We do need to talk. Right.
That's the next step, right? We talk.
That's what I mean. Is like he doesn't quite know how to be social, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So finally he just tells Teddy, no, you're not going. And his mother says, no, you don't get to tell Teddy where he goes or who he sees. According to him, this isn't even a real marriage. You're playing a part to my son, pretending to love him while the cameras roll. There is nothing but a pretty handful of lies. So one of the daughters says, oh, come on, Mama, don't stir the pot. And she says, I'm stirring nothing. I'm just looking out for Teddy's best interest. Someone has to, don't they, Mr. Carlson? It surely won't be you. And Henrik says, what do you mean by that? I would have said a whole lot of other things. But that's what she says, or that's what he says. By your own admission, your hands are already full. Your niece is your only concern, right? Well, perhaps that's as it should be, but you don't get to keep my Teddy underfoot, fetching and caring for you. He doesn't fetch and carry. Again,
that's part language and part like what? Like, you don't understand, like,
maybe he's never
phrases.
had somebody talk to him like that either.
Yeah.
If you needed help keeping your house in order, you should have hired a maid or laundry service. You don't marry my son, then refuse him all the rights of being your husband. Teddy says, Mama, stop, clutching her arm. My house is his. He knows that. My cars, my clothes, my credit cards, Teddy wants for nothing, Miss Wilson. I take care of him. I take care of everything. She just scoffs. Things, wonderful things, and in the end, all worthless. You know, Mr. Carlson, this is why you're such a bad match for my Teddy. And if he told me that he was going to do before he did it, I would have warned him off you. Go on then, I say. Tell me how I've already failed him. Teddy doesn't want a thing from you, Mr. Carlson, and if you knew him at all, you'd know that. He just wants you. But that's the one thing you'll never offer. You can play whatever games you want with the press, but I see you now. I see behind that handsome face with all those practiced smiles. You're an empty glass with no bottom. Teddy's going to keep pouring into you, and all his light is going to rush right out because you don't know how to hold on to the things that really matter. My Teddy is going to see you're no good. I don't need to take him with me now. He'll leave on his own, and I'll be there to comfort him when he does. I always am. So then one of the sisters tells her to come on. Another one of the sisters says to Teddy, don't be mad at Mama. She just wants more for you. You deserve better than this. And then Teddy speaks up.
I didn't think this was going to happen, and I was so upset. And then he starts speaking up. I was like, oh, okay.
Teddy says, y'all are unbelievable. You know that? And they say, Teddy, we're only trying to help. And he says, you're supposed to be on my side here, remember? I've never asked any of you to understand my choices, but you do have to respect them. Because if you're right, if this marriage turns out to be a huge mistake, then I'm going to need you. All of you. So don't ruin things now by crowing over me before this even has a chance to turn bad. And Mama, you know I love you. I respect you, and I'm truly sorry for all the hurt I caused. But if you ever talk to my husband like that again, it'll be the last time you ever talk to me.
She clutches her.
And then he grabs Henrik's hands and said, well, I said you had to meet my family. You've met them. Now take me home.
Yep.
This is where the interesting conversation happens.
Yes. So back to the phrases. So I went to college with someone whose first language was Italian.
Ooh, how fun.
It was. But much like, he doesn't catch and ferry, or fetch and carry. We would say...
English either.
We would say phrases such as that, and Greta would be like, what does that mean? Like, I'm not carrying anything. What are you talking about? I'd be like, that's not what that means.
I have honestly never heard that phrase before this book.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
well, I've heard it.
But I'm...
But it was things like that where it's just a
from
phrase.
The South.
You have some other interesting sayings.
I do.
But it was things like that where... And it happens in this other places in this book between Teddy and Henrik, where Teddy will say something and Henrik's very little about it because he knows English as much as you can learn English as a second language. And you don't know the little sayings that don't make sense. Yeah. So part of this is him truly not understanding parts of the English language and its idiosyncrasy, whatever. There's a word there.
Idiocracies?
Maybe that one. I don't know.
I might have made it up.
Okay. Isn't that a movie?
Idiosyncrasies.
Yeah. So just a little sayings.
See, I did make it up.
So he's struggling with that, but also he is very meticulous and doesn't read the room very well. So, here's my question. Did you know about this term before this book?
No.
Okay, I did. And in the beginning, when he said he didn't...
Keep going.
In the beginning, when he said, in his inner monologue on his POV chapters, he said something along the lines of, I've never really cared about sex. I've never really cared about anyone that I've had sex with. I was like, oh, he's demisexual. And then it comes up, and I was like, oh, there it is. So, demisexual is where you are attracted to the person.
He doesn't know that he is.
Yeah, no, Teddy teaches him the term. You're attracted to the person,
about...
not sexually, not physicality, but like their personality and who they are as a person. And then the other things come along second. Whereas most people...
They almost kissed.
Yeah.
And then they didn't.
Yeah.
And so Teddy is like... Because there is a rule of no kissing, but Teddy also kind of wants to break that rule. But he's like,
yeah, he
just
does.
Not attracted to me? Like, is that it? You can just tell me. And Henrik's like, I don't think I'm attracted to anyone. Like, I can appreciate beautiful people. I think you're beautiful. But, like, I don't enjoy sex. I've done it before, more than once.
with different people.
With different people,
like,
not
so
at
it wasn't
the same
just like
time.
the one person. Yeah.
And it's not that exciting for me. And that's when Teddy said, maybe you're
Demisexual.
Yeah.
So it's...
And no, I have heard of like asexual.
Yes, it's on the same spectrum as
and
that.
that's what it sounded very similar to me, but I had never heard of demi.
Yeah.
So that was
most people
a new term.
It's what, I'm not in love, I'm in lust, because most people, the first thing that comes up is the sexual part of a relationship, the physicality of it.
Amen.
And then
I ain't mad at
it. You're attracted to their personality, and you get to know them. You're like, oh, well, let's keep doing this thing.
Yeah.
Whereas people who are this, like, it's not a choice. It's not like, it's hard for them to see that first, so they don't really have relationships. It's hard for them to build relationships because they don't realize that that's how they're wired. So they're like, no.
It makes sense that it's hard for him to build relationships.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, this totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Based on the personality that he has in this book.
Yeah. What we've been presented up until now, it makes complete sense. Which is why, since I knew the term, I knew where it was going. And I was like, oh.
As somebody who does have that physical attraction, like, I've known my husband since we were 4, and I have literally thought he was gorgeous from the day I met him. We didn't start dating until I was 18, because that's when I got the balls or liquid courage enough to tell him that I liked him. It almost makes me feel sad because I don't know what it's like to not have that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel bad for somebody who doesn't, because I'm just like, man, you don't know what you're missing.
Yeah. Like, I look at someone, I was like, oh, I'd love to get to know that person, because in my eyes, they're a beautiful person. Whereas Henrik, he can't do that. He has to get to know someone really closely for
an entire year.
He has to fake marry someone, apparently, to get there. And now he's realizing slowly, he starts saying it in these final chapters as we get up to chapter 40.
We stopped at a really shitty place.
Oh, we did.
I wanted to keep going so bad.
He starts saying, like, he looks up what demisexual is, he reads into it, and
he's doing his own research.
He's starting to realize, like, I think I like Teddy. And he's never identified as anything, gay, straight, whatever, because he's never had a relationship with anyone. He doesn't care to have those feelings for anyone, because that's not, his brain's not like everyone else.
I think it's stupid to even put labels on it.
Like, I agree.
You just are whoever you are.
Yeah,
so whoever you end up with is whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like, it's fine. So he's starting to realize...
I don't even think he needs a label of, like, is he gay? Is he straight? Is he bi? Is he, whatever. He's just whatever he ends up with, which
kind of happens in one of the other books, too. One of the guys is like, I'm not gay. And it's like,
As it turns out, you kind of are.
You kind of are, because he did the things. Which is why we're like, do we really need labels? You love this person with all your heart. Like,
love is love.
So, yeah. These last few chapters, it is them exploring his demisexuality. I can't say it.
She really does speak English as her only language.
Only. I don't know Spanish.
I know you can't tell.
I can understand some Spanglish, but you gotta throw in an English word occasionally for me to catch up. So he's exploring it. There's some things about Carolina gets a... Fucking chills.
I'm so sorry.
Carolina gets a tutor. That's a whole thing. Which makes me want to look up, is this a 3-person thing? But I think it's just the tutor thinks Henrik's beautiful. So.
I mean, apparently everybody does.
Apparently he's a very beautiful, bulky, tall, Swedish man with blonde hair.
Let's look up what Swedish hockey players look like. Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
But with teeth, though.
Okay. Let's just see.
I feel like you can't. They all have helmets on. You can't see.
Okay.
This is not cute.
I'm not impressed with anything on this screen.
Apparently, he's a beautiful man. Even like Poppy, when I was reading that, she's like, he's a very beautiful man. So, but it's also a romance novel.
Oh, look at this one. They think he's handsome.
Oh. But it's also a romance novel, so everyone's beautiful in these books, right?
Oh, look at these guys.
Look at them cheekbones. Jeez.
Look at those lips.
So up through chapter 40, they're
But he's blonde.
exploring this. He is blonde. Just look up blonde Swedish man.
Mm-mm. He's
Maybe
cute.
something like I imagine this or this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Some of
jump
them,
right
no,
to
thank you.
beautiful.
And he's muscular and buff and oh, he's Swedish?
Apparently.
Well, I mean the name probably gives it away.
Are Viking men Swedish?
I don't know.
Where are the Vikings from? Just because they're all blonde, and you know the Vikings guys had like long blonde hair and beards.
They're northern Germanic people from Scandinavia,
Oh,
Sweden, Norway, Denmark. So yeah, so they
okay.
can be.
Yeah. Look at me.
Oh, what is that guy's name?
Why are his cheekbones so like that? He needs to eat. They're all sunk in.
The brothers. Gosh,
Hemsworth?
no.
They're Australian.
They're
right?
Australian.
Yeah. They are
There's
gorgeous
another
to look
set
at.
of actor brothers.
Those are the only ones I know.
I put in True Blood. Oh, Eric. Yeah. The guy who plays Eric in True Blood. It is played by Skarsgård.
Look at this guy.
There's Skarsgård brothers. I think they're Swedish.
Why did they stick her in here? She doesn't look like a man.
Skarsgård brothers. There's Bill
this guy's
Skarsgård. He plays
cute.
it. And
Look at this guy.
Alexander Skarsgård.
When he runs his fingers through his hair, I bet
That's AI.
it doesn't matter. That's what I was looking for. Show me a picture.
Okay.
So, look. When he runs his fingers through his hair like this, I bet that's what he does. I mean, with that hair.
Probably.
Yeah, see?
They're from Sweden, so the Skars. I'm just gonna imagine the Skars. Alexander Skarsgård now.
Who?
Type in Alexander Skarsgård.
Okay.
SK. There you go. That guy.
Mm.
Who did that? Someone edited a picture of him and made him like the where you have hair here, no hair here.
What is he wearing?
Oh my god.
Swedish
Men are not typically they don't wear typical men's clothing sometimes.
I keep
So I
reading
think
about the
that's what that
sweaters
is.
in this book,
Yeah.
but I'm not feeling those leather pants and that sleeveless shirt.
So yeah. And chapter 40, they're on their first official date that Poppy has set up a photographer to be there to take photos because they're still running their PR thing. And then it ends with
Oh gosh.
they're going back and forth and Henrik's trying to tell Teddy, I want, like, can we try this, please? And Teddy's like, that's not what you want. Like, it's not me. I don't want to be your experiment. Like, don't experiment on me. Go with someone else. And Teddy's, or... what chapter is that? Oh.
41.
That's a long chapter.
40 and 41.
Henrik tells Teddy, because Teddy keeps saying, like, it's don't do it with me. Like, I understand you're learning and you think it's me, but it's not. Like, you just think that because of everything that's happened between us. And he looks at Teddy and he says, how will I know if I can give you everything you want if you won't let me try?
So sweet. The start of the first chapter says, what would that even look like? And then
Me trying?
I didn't go any further. I've read that little 2 sentences like
Close
5
that.
times because I would open my book and it would go to there and I'm like, oh no, I'm not reading this book. I'm reading a different book until we get to book club. And so I really do also want to know what that would look like.
Yeah. Because I don't think Henrik knows. Teddy knows what he, like, thinks it looks like, but he's also used to a typical relationship with someone who goes in first with physicality, not building a relationship. But that's what Teddy needs because he gives with his whole heart and soul, so he needs that out of someone. Henrik calls him his freaking heart. Then when they were in bed, I looked up. Every other time he would call him, remember your pure heart, pure heart. He left out a word, and there was a different word there, so on Kindle, you can do it and just do Swedish to English conversion. And he says, good night, my heart. I was like, oh, Henrik. So
They could have also just been tired.
So yes, Henrik's gonna try to, he's realizing that he likes Teddy. Because he didn't understand, he just thought he was a good friend. And that's why he's been feeling possessive over him. He's been feeling like he needs to take care of him. Like he doesn't want him to go out with other people.
Yeah,
like,
at one point he thought he was going to meet a friend for drinks.
And he like got jealous.
He was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
I think that chapter ended with, I want him home with me.
Mm-hmm.
So now that he knows and he's looked up what this means, he's like, oh, is that what that was? So the second half of this book is them exploring that, apparently.
I think he's also... I don't really know how to say it, but like yes, they're kind of forced into the situation by the situation that they put themselves in, but Teddy isn't just giving up on him. Like, he's helping him explore himself, helping him see, like, it's okay that that's what you're dealing with. It happens to a lot of people. This is what it's called. You can still have connections with people. It's just different.
It looks different at first.
What you see on TV or what you read in books. It's just different. And so I think that kind of acceptance for him is maybe something that he doesn't know that he's been looking for.
In a large part of this book, like Henrik says, he's the one who cares for everyone. But there's been moments where Teddy's like, let me care for you in this moment. Let me take care of you in this moment. Let me tell me what's going on. Like, put it all on me. And Henrik's let him. So I think that he's now realized, like, oh, I'm letting you do this for me. That has also helped him be like, maybe this is more. So I'll be interested to see.
That's hard to do, coming from someone who needs to do everything on their own. That is hard to just
he's pretty anal.
Let it go.
And for the record, I was pretty much spot on when I was like, I flipped and I was like, yeah, chapter 40.
Yeah.
We're at 51%. Damn.
Yeah, she did a good job. We've got 3 hours left in this book.
According to our typical reading speed. Yeah.
All right, till next time.
Until next time. We were going to finish the book, and then we'll announce what the next book is next week.
I'm excited to finish this one. I think it's going to be good.
It's going to be so good.
All right. See you guys next week. Happy reading.
Bye.